What's going on, everybody? Welcome on in to another episode here of the solo four-man hardcore group Iron. So let's just get underway. As we prepare for the God Wars entrance, I am just whipping up some extra tablets here, some Bones of Peaches tabs, teleport to house. I already have thousands and thousands of house tabs as I've been using them for Slayer when I'm not on the regular spell book. So right now I am just needing to make some Bones to Peaches. I bought over 10,000 soft clay. Buying the soft clay is very easy to do. Just with Stardust, there's Necrills, drop it. But regardless, you just get a bunch of soft clay and then start whipping up some tablets. I think they reworked this interface too to make these tablets from lecterns. It's actually worse now because instead of just clicking the tab that I want when it pops up, I have to click twice. So it's actually slightly more inconvenient. Unfortunately, some of their updates don't always pan out. They don't really think things through, but it is what it is. It does look nicer. It just is more clicking. I would have liked it if they did the same thing to like the furnace, where you can just hold spacebar when you approach it, and it remembers your last action, I guess, that you perform there. So if you're making like jewelry, like say you're just converting, gold bars and sapphires into rings, to make recoils or something, it will remember that you wanted to do the sapphire ring rather than just a normal gold ring or something. But anyway, yeah, just I think I'm gonna make like 4,000. I don't actually know how many of these total I'll need, but I remember doing God Wars before, and it's just so nice to not have to worry about, oh, I don't want to use as many tabs, as I can. I'm trying to conserve on tablets, so what I'll do is I won't use them every single kill per account. If it's only gonna be for like one or two bones, I'll wait until I have like a handful of bones or try to trade bones over. That's just too much to fuss with. I'm honestly going to just be spamming them as I need. If I have one bone and I'm missing 10 HP, then I'm just going to click it and get the bone, get the peach, heal up, because in there I will have a minute and 30 seconds after the boss dies before the next respawn. And in that time, I will need to prepare for the next respawn. I will not be able to like constantly manage saving one Bones the Peach tab, right? That's not the point. The whole difference between this group Iron and any normal solo Iron is that I have the numbers advantage. I have multiple accounts to do tasks like this. Like as you see, I'm training, Slayer. I'm doing range training. I'm mining, almost 99 mining, by the way. That's going to be huge for raids one. But basically, while I'm doing all these, you know, minute tasks like making tablets, I'm still gaining a lot of progress on my other accounts. So that's the power in the masses of RuneScape in general, which sort of simulates what you get out of the main server with main accounts, right? The main accounts in the game, right? Everyone who's not an Iron Man is effectively just one gigantic, millions and millions of players sized group Iron, right? If you think about it, it's not really any different than a group Iron that just has an infinite size. So what I have here is I basically have my own little economy in RuneScape, so that I can, you know, do the chore work on the side where it's a bit more AFK, and then do a bit more focused work on other accounts. Um, I've been just doing a lot of Range Slayer in just some casual prayer gear, just having as much prey bonus as I can while maintaining some decent ranged. Basically, most things though that I attack with ranged have low enough defense to where accuracy doesn't really matter. Even if you do have a ton of accuracy, it's not really going to matter too much. These things, basically every hit is an XP drop as is, so I'm slowly finishing off 99 range here. Actually going to hit it on this video. Didn't really plan that, but this will be dropping. This clan that I was in is gonna go ballistic and such. But yeah, So let's just soak in the moment here. 200 XP off. Let's just wait for this to happen. Get this out of the way. 6 XP. Let's go. Next attack. There it is. Just gonna drop in the 99 into the CC. Everyone's gonna go grats. Yeah, let's see. There it is. There it is. Alright, yo. Alrighty. Yeah, that's always exciting. So, with this, after this task, I'll go back to just training Slayer with melee. But I might actually use my trident. I don't know yet. I kind of want to use like the Tome of Fire with some blood spells. So if I use like Fire Wave, actually I could use Fire Surge. I wonder if that would be good or not. I do have access to thousands and thousands of Wrath runes, so. But yeah, I've been working on that one for a while. Finally got 99 range. This is actually the first account that has 99 range, so I'll go pick up the cape here in a jiff. But yeah, just a random level coming in. As I do the final preparations for God Wars, I would like just 99 range, 99 magic. Y'all know how I am. I basically want the highest stats possible for survival and damage output. Um, and I don't really know if I'm gonna stray away from that. I have been extremely eager to go and dive in to my first God Wars boss, which would be Zami. In fact, that's most likely gonna be the next video. But I just don't know if I'm going to make any shortcuts. Like, I haven't made any shortcuts to this point, so what's another couple days, right? What's another couple levels to train? Items wise, I'm basically there. I'm not gonna go for a fourth set of Guthans. I'm not gonna go for a fourth Varric skirt. I've already kind of decided how I'm gonna plan things out. Um, and yeah, I think with the chins that I've caught and all the other God Wars not really requiring anything like chins or anything, then I'm pretty much set to go. I finished 99 Slayer, so the account making the tabs was actually one of the accounts that I was slaying on most recently as well. So these two accounts, the Hellhounds and In the House here, are two of the accounts that were doing Slayer side by side. And since I got 99 Slayer, I actually had to go 400,000 XP past 99 to get a Greater Demon task. So let me just type in here, task. There, see, I have a 224 Greater Demon task, and I already had a big one stored. So I have almost 500 Greater Demons to kill. And I'm trying to get all of my accounts to that stage. That way, I can easily get like 200 to 300 Zami KC, which should guarantee me get a spear or two. I'm not too worried about getting like a hilt or Staff of the Dead yet, but it'd be really nice to just open up the option for bandos. I've considered, and this is one I've really had to think about, I've really been considering just dumping and dumping points. So if I look at my points here, I'll check my Slayer helm there. 8,080 points as I'm closing in on 99 Slayer. Do I unlock the boss tasks to be assigned and then go for the small chance at getting General Gordor as a task? Or do I just say that that's just way too rare and then save these points for something like Hydra or some more Konar tasks for, good Brimstone keys? Honestly, I'm really turning away from the idea of just saving my points. My original plan was to just do Slayer with Konar, but I realized that even if I get a good task that's like doable, it's still going to be really annoying to have to do that and manage all my other alts. So I just always turned away from that, and I don't actually think I'll ever go back to Konar just for Brimstone keys. So I won't need to be using points to skip. So maybe after I do a couple Zami tasks here, I will unstore my Greater Demon task that's been stored, and then I will do that task as well. When that one runs out, now I'll most likely be done with Zami if I have a couple spears. But even if I don't, I would probably just unlock boss tasks and then shoot for the rare chance that I get bandos. Because with the combat achievements, you can actually choose a higher quantity of a boss. from your boss Slayer task assigned. So normally you get to choose between 3 and 35, I believe it is. And if you have tiers of the combat achievements completed, so easy, medium, hard, I believe that goes up by at least like 5 per tier. So I think with the hard tier, I can assign myself up to 50 of a single boss task. Meaning if I did land on Bandos, since that Bandos task will not count for his minions as well, that's important to remember, because otherwise Zammy and Armadil, some of your task goes towards the minions, and that actually sort of wastes it because you'd rather just have that heightened DPS on the boss itself. So, you know, that 50 task of Bandos is actually 50 KC, whereas, anywhere else it's about only half that, so like 25 KC. So this is effectively like getting a 100 KC, Krill task as a boss task. If I were to hit a Bandos task from Boss Slayer, I would be able to assign myself 50 Bandos kills in that account instead of using the Knights of Not face guard, which is a great helmet. It does have prayer bonus, it has +6 strength and good defense. It's a small downgrade to lose the prayer and the defensive stats from the Knights of Not face guard, but I will be on task using a Slayer helmet, which has, that 15% accuracy and damage boost. So that's going to make well up pass for the damage output of this +6 strength, but also just have that higher accuracy. That accuracy for landing a Dragon Warhammer could just be the difference breaker. Um, if I end up just getting a task and see that the accuracy is crazily good, and the first hammer hitting from my account that's on task means now that Bandos has lower defense, now the other subsequent hammers are just so much more likely to hit. And then as well as just his normal attacks with the whip on task are going to be shredding. I'm talking like just straight 50s. And then the other accounts, due to the accuracy of those hammer hits from not only the account that was on task, but if that lands, then the other, like I said, the subsequent ones will land more likely. Then all of the DPS will just be coming on in. But anyway, here, yeah, let's just real quick grab this 99 range cave. I actually just got a Bloodveld task, so I've been cannoning these things, and this is partly why I'm very very against just going before I finish the stats that I want in the God Wars, is that these tasks where I can just cannon as well as just smack for a ton of XP have been accelerating my range level and basically my Slayer level as well. And I've just been able to train as much as I want on them. So I'm not really too concerned about skipping before I finish 99 Magic and whatnot. I'm actually gonna try this out. I've never actually done this, but since I've noticed I do have Wrath runes, and normally on an Iron Man you never have this luxury. So I'm actually gonna try just like auto casting here. We'll end up seeing how this works here. This place that I go to in here is called the Myrditch Laboratories. It's unlocked during the Sins of the Father quest line. So I think you need to complete Sins of the Father to truly have access to it. But basically, you just go here into Mauritania and you go through a few tunnels. Typically, it'll take a stamina dose, so I bring a 1 dose stam. So that way the vial is just gone, there's nothing left. And you make your way into here. This came out with Sins of the Father, and ever since it kind of broke the meta here for Slayer tasks as for Bloodvelds. Bloodvelds typically were only ever done in the catacombs, and yeah, it's multi. You can maybe stack them up to burst, but stacking them up takes a lot of time. But this just allows you to have a multi Bloodveld task where you can use a cannon, because you cannot use a cannon in the catacombs of Korend, or things like the Slayer Tower in Canifis. So yeah, let's just check out how good this is. So I loaded up my Tome of Fire here with basically all the pages I had. I actually don't have that many pages. Maybe I go do Winter Taught or something, but 4,000 charges. That's at least gonna last me a little while here. So actually, that's not the right spot. Let's put it in the right spot here. So if I put my cannon here, it can shoot the one blood velvet from over there that I've noticed. And this is how I've been doing my Slayer. So this is how I've gotten a lot of my Slayer up whilst training a lot of range. So I would bring my blowpipe here, and honestly, you just murder these things because they have zero defense. And yeah, let's see how the magic works out. Basically, I should never splash, even though I'm wearing armor. And that's simply because blood velvets have zero defense. So as long as I don't have like negative 60, and yeah, hitting pretty high, 34, and that's not even a max hit. Let's just constantly target one that is not a low HP one. That way I can see what my max hit would be. So I think normally with this spell, with Fire Wave, your max hit's 20. This, I think it would go to, what, 24? There's a 37, still not my max hit. Okay, so this is actually good for magic XP. You know, I could even, like, alch on the side, but typically I'm, spending a lot of time managing my other accounts, so I will probably just AFK, let the cannon aggro. And it looks like these XP drops are pretty sizable, getting like 100 per, sometimes into the over 100, like that one, so this looks like it's pretty decent. If I'm getting about 100 XP per cast at least, then these Rathrans are well worth it. And I do need to level up my magic. If I can burst the monster, I would obviously go barrage them. But stacking these things up is a pain, and I just do not feel like setting that up. Even though I have seen people do it, you have to find a world as well. I've never found people here, so I know this place is pretty empty. So I'm just gonna do my task here. That was, oh, I missed that. What was that? A 40 something. I saw it was the max hit too. 43. Okay, I think that was like a 46. Cuz I'm hitting like 43s right now. I wonder what the magic XP drop is too. I got to watch that now. 142. Oh, and that was a max hit. So 142 XP for hitting a 46. That's pretty insane. I'm rocking Tormented Bracelet, I got my Occult, and then the Slayer Helmet. So I'm literally just casting in it's just a normal like dust staff because it'll at least, use the save me the air runes. Yeah, this spell here costs 1 Wrath rune, 10 fires, so the Tome of Fire covers that, and then the air runes just need covered by my staff. So yeah, this is actually shredding, and I really like this because these have a low defense, so definitely going to be doing this for my blood velds to train magic. Wow, this 46s, man. That's just hitting so hard. I mean, that's basically like melee damage, right? Like I'm hitting harder than melee with a whip. I would need like Piety on to hit higher than that. So I'm actually pretty surprised that this is actually fairly worth it. The only thing is I am using charges on my Tome of Fire, but like what else are you going to use them for? I have never really found a way to fully find a good use for Tome of Fire charges, so this looks like it'll be it. And if I don't get 99 magic from doing Slayer like this, which I definitely won't, I'm only 370k off, and by the time I get 99 Slayer, I will only be like 97 or halfway to 98 mage. So I might just do some like off-task Tome of Fire casting. I might just, I might have to drop the Tome of Fire and just cast like Fire Wave or Fire Surge, whatever I feel like doing. But yeah, I actually don't have. Yeah, I think I would just do like off-task, blood, the blood spell. So that's Fire Wave. Fire Wave uses blood runes. Fire Surge uses wraths. So luckily, because I have access to wraths, which I've been using these wraths for the demonic offering and ash spells, where I convert ashes and bones during my Slayer task to prayer XP. That's how I've also raised my prayer up pretty high. They actually second as a damage type for surge spells, so wrath runes coming in clutch. But yeah, basically in Slayer, I've I've reached my goal on the account doing the teleport tabs, or the Bones of Peach tabs rather. And what I've been doing now is I'm just doing some final chores for God Wars. So I went and used a ton of my ensouled heads. So that was one of my to-dos, was to clean up all the ensouled heads I had banked. I don't have that many banked because now that I'm doing my Abyssal Demon tasks with the Arceus spellbook to cast the Ash spell to convert all the Abyssal Ashes into my prayer XP, in doing that, I'm just naturally on the Arceus spellbook where I can just reanimate the Abyssal heads right then and there, and I just kill the Abyssal, reanimate, and basically get the XP immediately. So, I've obviously been doing that, and therefore I have not banked all of them because, well, they're just used instantly. So instead of having to run trips back to the Dark Altar or whatever and, do a full inventory of ensouled heads, which is kind of how you normally have to do it, I have just basically none of the Abyssal ones because they've all been used already, and then from there, I just had to do like some giant heads, which aren't even that good because they're very low. But that's like the minimum that I would ever do, is pick up an ensouled giant head from like fire giants. There's troll heads, cave horror heads, and then you start getting into the good ones like Bloodveld and above. Bloodveld ones are at least like 1k each. And then you have like Hellhound ones, demons, all that stuff. Those are pretty good XP there. And yeah, even the dragon ones. The dragon ones are obviously the highest tier. However, I don't think I actually have any of the dragon ones either, because basically same deal as the abyssal is that if I'm doing a dragon task, they're dropping dragon bones. So I would already be on the Arceus spellbook to convert the bones into prayer right there and there. So I would just make the ensouled heads animated and kill the animated dragon right there. So but I did go and use all the other smaller heads and got up to 90 prayer on this account. My main rating account has been 90 prayer through the Slayer grind. I did prioritize prayer on him a little bit more than the others, so I maybe transferred over some bones and such to just train with, because I do want my main rating account to be the highest in prayer. I most likely would like 99, but definitely 90 is a good baseline to go off of. So I went for 90 on the second account as well. Now this account's only 87, this account's only 89. There are certain thresholds that are really nice to go for, and these all are in increments of 4. So every 4 prayer levels you gain gives you an extra 1 prayer point per dose of, for example, Pray Pod or Restore. Now I do know that typically what people do is they get piety. So the way I think of it is that when people stop at 70 just for piety, that's actually like right in between two of these thresholds. So 68 and 72 are the thresholds for getting that extra point. So 70 doesn't actually do it. If you wanted an extra point, you'd have to go another 2 levels to 72. That means that 4 later 76, 4 later 80. 80 is the flat, multiple of 10 baseline where you get a prayer dose threshold as well. So that's how I remember it. Is I remember that 70 is not one of those flat levels, and 80 would be. So 80 is, and then it would be 84 is another pray point threshold, and then 88 is another one. So I got 90, which does mean I don't hit another threshold from that, but 88 is the threshold, so I'm already pretty high up there. There's only a couple more possible breakpoints I could hit, which would be 92 and 96. So 92 is pretty steep, so I do think what I would have to do is basically, just go with the 90 or whatever I am. That actually brings up a good point. So for this account that's 89, I'm okay with just chilling on that level. I don't really need to get any further than that. And then for the account that's 87, I will put Bones over to this account to make sure he gets 88, which would give me that extra little pray point threshold for each restore dose. So that's something good to pay attention to and finish out before I enter God Wars. And basically, yeah, just been cleaning up ensouled heads, finishing off magic levels, range levels, And then on the side I'm doing some of the chore work here with making Bones to Peach tabs, making sure I have enough house teleport tabs, which I'll probably go make some of those with the remaining soft clay. I was catching chins before, so yeah, I'm slowly checking off my list of to-dos to finally be done preparing for this God Wars entrance here, because once I start, I'm pretty much going to be running the suite. I'm not going to be stopping to do any other chore work unless there's something I find that is extremely critical that I forgot, but I seriously doubt that. I have hundreds and hundreds of greater demons lined up on tasks on these 3 accounts already. So I would just pretty much be, as soon as this account hits 99 Slayer, I can just then get my new greater demon task from doing more Slayer. So I'll have to do a little bit post 99. But after that, then I will have what I like is the Slayer Cape unlock. This was one of the main reasons why I'm waiting so long in my Slayer gains to do God Wars, is because it's going to be a lot easier to get a back-to-back task with the cape. Because if you didn't know, you actually can never get the same task back-to-back. That's how Slayer has always worked, right? So if I finish a Greater Demon task at Zami, and I go back to the Master, it's guaranteed to not be a Greater Demons, but the cape will have a 10% chance to proc, and if this procs, then he will ask you if you would like your same task that you just completed again. So having this cape means that I will have a chance to just immediately get the same task assigned. So for Aviancies or Greater Demons, when I'm doing these God Wars fights, that's going to be pretty convenient to just jump right back in and be able to save my points. Because then when I go for Armadillo, I need to start skipping, right? So here's the issue, is I need to do hundreds and hundreds of Armadillo. And I have 4 accounts that all need to line up their task to be able to do it effectively. That means I'm going to have to go through a lot of pain and misery skipping tasks that I would normally love to do. Now, I'm not going to want to spend hours and hours between Aviancy trips to God Wars to do tasks like Abyssal Demons and Necryls that I would love to do otherwise. So I might actually fully reformat my block list. This is an idea I actually just thought of right now, is that, so yes, I do have an efficient block list, but it's tailored towards tasks that I will actually do or not. Since I'm doing nothing but Aviancies or Greater Demons, I might actually go block things like Abyssal Demons have a really high weight, Hellhounds have a high weight. So I might go block Hellhounds and Abyssal Demons instead of some of the other things that I have blocked that are a bit lower weight, even though, and I might even block Necryls, which is crazy because that's such a good experience task. However, when I'm just going to be skipping for only Greater Demons and Aviancies, this is one of the things I have to consider, is I might just completely reformat my block list, which would only basically be probably 2 or maybe 3 differences. So I would just unblock a couple things and then use 100 points per new block to block 2 or 3 more things. So that's only like 200 or 300 extra points. When I'm sitting on 7,000 or 8,000 points, that's a scratch to my point stacks. And it would totally be worth it because it would save me points on skips in the long run for whenever I have to start spam skipping. Because I'm not going to stop off to do tasks randomly in between these God Wars trips. I'm going to want to just get another Aviancy task, get another Greater Demon task. So when I'm doing this and I have all 4 of my accounts ready to roll, some accounts might get more unlucky than others. So even though I have 7,000 points on all 4 of the accounts, one of them might just go super, super dry on getting assigned another Aviancy task. Therefore, the Slayer Cape will help with this, to eliminate some of that RNG, as well as just having high points and then formatting my block list to properly give me the best chance at getting what I want out of it. So yeah, that's a great idea that I sort of just came up with right there. So definitely going to be switching some of the blocks up and spending a ton of points to just skip good tasks. It would be painful to, constantly have to skip Abyssal Demons gargoyles, dust devils, necreals, blood velds. I'm just skipping all of this because the only things I want are these God Wars bosses. So, and actually, since I'm doing all of this, that would be the perfect chance to just throw in the boss slayer and start shooting for Grardor tasks. Because there's also a chance that instead of Grardor, I get a Commander Ziliana task. And if I get that, I can also assign myself 50 of that. So there would be two bosses that I could potentially get on Boss Slayer. However, there is one reason here that would make me not want to do this plan. And that's because I looked at the total assignable bosses through the Like a Boss Slayer unlock, and man, there is a lot of bosses in this game. I mean, like, way too many to even think of. The chances of me getting the specific boss that I want is just so rare. So basically, I'm unlocking this boss task and I'm going to be getting a ton of new assignments that I do not want to do, like wilderness bosses. There's like, Giant Mole, Zora, Abyssal Sire, Cerberus, all those Slayer bosses, Dagonoth Kings. Like, they're gonna assign so many random bosses that I do not want, and they might even assign Zami, or so they might assign Krill or Kriara, which is the Zami and Armado boss, which I can just do anyway through an actual Slayer monster. So yeah, there's a lot of unwanted bosses in this pool of tasks that I would now be allowing myself to get. It might actually not be worth it. So yeah, we'll have to just find out here. Chewing through these tome charges though, I've used about 300 charges. I am loving the 40s and I'm getting a considerable amount of mage XP, so it's not too bad. I will just be sending cannonballs to finish 99 Slayer. The faster I can finish 99 Slayer, the better, because if I get then another Bloodveld task at 99, then I have a cape chance to basically get that task assigned again. Like I've explained how the cape will work, and that'll help me to actually continue to get tasks that I can continually mage, because the best task would be Necreals, right, or Dust Devils, and if I have the 99 cape, then I can potentially get assigned that same thing again. So like a second Necreal back-to-back task, that would be very, very good. Lots of magic XP in barraging those with Ice Barrage. So yeah, this is kind of the final stretch here. I'm not sure how far I will take my magic and range level. Obviously, just hitting 99 range, but if we look at the other accounts, we're sitting at around 97, 98. This account's 99 magic, but has 95 range. So I'm currently working on that. Should easily get to like 97, just AFKing crabs while I train the other accounts. And my main rating account has a high mage level, but still low on the range. Not sure if I'm going to fully go, train these all to 99. I might just roll with whatever range level I'm at and then try to get the magic up. I don't know. We'll see. Might just go with 95 through 98. Wherever it sits at, when I'm 99 Slayer, it's go time for Zami. So, going to be wrapping up the video here. Those are the plans, and expect in the next video to start right off the bat in the Zami God Wars boss room. I'll probably show a bit of the preface there with getting kill count, getting there, setting it up. So it might be a different style video. It might be a lot less commentary and more just showing like the whole setup. I'm gonna have to be fully concentrated to properly set things up. Make sure I'm getting kill count up on all four of them. It's gonna be a lot of clicking around, killing imps, goblins, whatever God Wars I'm doing. But yeah, I'm expecting to see. I'll start the recording on the next video, probably getting kill count. I probably won't show the setup because that would just be it would be a bit too tedious. And after that, then I would just be jumping right in to the boss room. Set up my quick praise, make sure my gear and supplies are correct, and just send it. So Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure you stick around for the next upcoming videos as we're finally entering God Wars that we've been waiting for this whole time. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.